Well, we certainly needed inspirational characters like that to give us a lift through lockdown, didn't we?
Cat, it's a shame they couldn't inspire a bit of common sense on people. Do you remember what happened in the supermarket?
Yeah, panic fire. What was all that about?
If you didn't get to the supermarket super early, there wasn't anything left on the shelves.
Well, except for stuff like broccoli, and who wants to eat that?
And why did everyone suddenly start stocking up on toilet roll? I read a bit about coronavirus and nowhere could I find that one of its symptoms was an increased need to go to the loo.
We went weeks without any. We had to use kitchen roll until that ran out too.
Then what did you do?
You don't want to know.
Mum, where's Dad? He should have been back from the shops ages ago and it's way past dinner time. And I'm starving.
I'm sorry it won't be long now. Then we can have dinner. Tonight it's going to be fish fingers, chips and beans.
Yes, my favourite. You can't beat fish fingers, chips and beans.
And is he getting those deluxe creamy yogurts I like for pudding? And a bottle of Coke. It's Friday, Mum. We like Coke on Friday. Well, it was on the shopping list I gave him, so I expect so.
Oh.
Crikey, lad! What on earth has happened to you?
Have you been run over, Dad? Have you been mugged?
Have you been attacked by next door Jack Russell again?
No, it's not that. I've been to Tesco.
Yeah, well, we know that. I sent you there with a shopping list 2 hours ago. How did you get yourself in this state just going to Tesco?
You don't know what it's like out there. Since lockdown, the world's gone mad. It's every man for himself. There's stripping the supermarket shelves of everything. There's fighting the yards. I don't know how I managed to get out there alive.
That sounds terrible, Dad.
What did you go out dinner? Fish fingers, chips and beans. So that's me over and a bottle of Coke. Yeah, so I've got what's on the list, more or less.
More or less? What do you mean? Did you or didn't you?
I tried my best to make sure we had fish fingers, chips and beans for dinner, with yogurt for pudding and Coke to drink. So, it's just going to take a bit of imagination. Okay, so, I know they weren't on the list, but I've been thinking for a long time now that we haven't eaten enough green veg, and I've had your peas and broccoli left in the shop, so...
What about the stuff you're supposed to get?
Oven chips? Right, oven chips. They'd run out of those too, but they had parsnips. If we cut them up, brush them with oil and oven bake them, ta-da, chips.
You're joking. I'll just stick to the fish fingers and baked beans.
Yeah, beans. They ran out of those too, so I thought probably chickpeas and tomato puree.
Dad, that's gross. At least tell me you got the fish fingers.
Technically, yes, we have fish fingers. Not quite what you used to, but things of fish nonetheless. I managed to get 4 tins of sardines, which we can mush up then roll into finger-sized portions.
Go.
No way. Tell me you at least managed to find yogurts.
Okay, yeah, they'd run out of those too, but I did manage to get the last 2 litres of milk in the shop. The best thing is, it's out of date. If we leave it in a warm place for a while, hey presto, yogurt.
That's disgusting. What about the Coke? Let me guess, you thought that you could just get some Oxo cubes and pop it in a bowl of sparkling water and give it a quick shake.
Great Martin, Caleb. I'm sorry everyone. I tried, I really did. Fish fingers, Coke, beans, yogurt. There's just none left. Yeah, I managed to pick these up from the news agents today. Copies of today's Daily Mail. And what, may I ask, are we supposed to do with those? It's not an attempt to read more instead of being on our screens, is it?
There was one more thing on the shopping list they ran out of.
What was that?
Ta-da! Loo roll.
Thank you.
present us with a few challenges, didn't it? So many rules and regulations which made big changes to our lives.
I found some of the instructions we were given really confusing, and they were always changing. The people in charge were struggling to know what to do for the best sometimes.
It seems even experts don't think we're all trying. The thing is, if they can't make their mind up, how are we supposed to know what to do?
Shops had to shut, then they could open, then they had to shut again.
We couldn't even go to restaurants, then we were told to eat out to help out, and then we couldn't even do that.
We weren't allowed to play sports. Then we were, but only outside. But we couldn't go and watch our favourite teams play. I couldn't keep up.
And the whole thing about bubbles and tears, who you could see and where you could see them and for how long. I really don't envy the people who had to stand up in front of the cameras out.
Here we go again. I didn't get any sleep last night worrying about this.
Me neither. It seems that every week we have to tell people something new to stop this virus spreading.
No wonder they're getting confused. Maybe we're just not making things clear enough then. Don't leave your house unless you have to leave your house. Don't go to work unless you have to go to work.
You can mix with people in a bubble of 6, unless there's an R in the month and it hasn't rained for 3 days. Oh, and then there's the tiers. You're in this tier, they're in that tier. The whole thing has me in tiers.
Which is why we need a different approach. So, did you make sure you've documented prepared? Do you think it'll work?
Maybe it can't do any harm.
Certainly radical, I'll give you that. We might as well give it a shot.
Okay then, let's do this.
Thank you everybody for joining us at today's COVID briefing. Now as you're aware, the situation in regard to this virus remains serious.
We understand that the previous instructions we have given may have been unclear, leaving many of you unsure on what you need to do.
However, while we wait for the next set of scientific findings, from which will give you another set of different instructions, there are 3 things we need you to do. 3 things which remains at the beginning of all of this.
And today we'd really like to reinforce this. Just so you're no doubt, firstly, wash your hands at every opportunity, because you know you can pick up the virus from infected surfaces. Secondly, keep a 2-metre distance from people when you leave your home for essential activity.
And thirdly, wear a mask to reduce the risk of transmitting and contracting the virus through your breath. Now, we've said these things before, but some of you still don't seem to understand.
So, to shake things up a little bit, to make the message a little more funky and groovy, especially for you younger cooler dudes out there, let's, in a socially distanced manner, of course, rock!
remember?
Oh yes, silly me. Well, my word, that was very energetic. Got me carried away there. Look, I even took my tie off. Rock and roll.
I'm sure you'll need some refreshments after that amazing performance, so we've laid on cups of tea and biscuits backstage if you'd like to join us.
Thanks, we'll pass, but got to keep it safe, right? Yes, well, I think that worked very well indeed. So, same time next week?
Can't wait.